Hello, everyone. I don't know what my YouTube channel name is. I believe it's Bookmark Adventures, but my name is Anne, and today I have one big book haul for you. I think it's total like 50 books. So I went to Half Price Books last week. I have two within 15 miles of me, or 15 miles between each other. I went to both of them last week and got a stack of books. Sold some, got more. My husband gave me a $100 gift card to Half Price Books, which they was last week. While I was there last week, I realized that this week they were having a sale, 20% off everything. So you might check your half price books because it ends tomorrow when they close. Um, and so I really wanted to go because there was more books that I wanted that I was unable to get because of my budget, because I had the $100 and then I think it was $33 that I got from selling books. And so my husband wanted something. I said, okay, you can buy that, but I get another $100 for books. So guess what I did yesterday? I've got 4 bags down here and some that are out of the bag. So we are going to go through them. I don't necessarily think if I do talk about them, it'll be brief because otherwise this will be a very long video. I also going to pan you around. I'm also in the process of redoing my shelves. So I don't think I will post a video of that. However, after this one, after this video, once I show you my book haul, because I need to get them out of the bag so I can figure out what genre they are, how I'm going to put them on the shelf, which is going to be a very long process. I don't think I'm going to take you all along for that ride. But once I am done with this video, if I have time before my husband gets home from work, I will do my TBR video for June. I really didn't have a TBR for May. I don't think I did. Um, but I did read quite a bit. And when I do my TBR video, I will go over what I've read so far and what um, I plan to read. I am currently, give me 1 minute. I just started the fourth book in the Actor series. These tabs are for words that I don't know that I plan to go back and look at. Um, I started this one a couple weeks ago, got to like 70 pages. I'm rereading it. I'm currently on page 52. I kind of felt with this one that this one's going to be like a slow drag because it's an enemies to lovers book, which I'm all for, but I just feel like this one's going to drag, especially since it's a break. So that's what I'm currently reading as of right now. I do have a current buddy read going on with my sister. We are reading The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. We are currently at, I think, like 130 something pages. I don't know where that book is right now. I believe it is in my bedroom, but I'm currently reading that one as well. Other than that, those are the only 2 books that I'm reading currently. And let's just get into this book haul because, like I said, there's like 50 books here. Again, I'm not going to go over them too much in detail just because I don't want this video to be an hour long for y'all to have to sit through it. I'm going to pause y'all for a brief moment. I can't pause you. Oh, wait. No, yes, I can. Okay, I'm sorry about that. My son was letting in our dogs, and I had to have him take some stuff outside. And I do apologize if you hear them. I think my oldest is going back to sleep, and I think my youngest is about to play video games. So let's just get into it. The first book we have is The Woman by Kristen Hanna. I'm not going over this one. This one has been everywhere. I finally scored a copy of it, and I hopefully will enjoy it because it's historical fiction. The next 2 books I got are on weather and meteorology. It's always fascinated me, and so I got some books to kind of read up on it, see if it's maybe something I want to pursue in college. I don't know. There's another one somewhere. Next books I got were Kate Martin, The Summit, Seasons of Strangers, and there's one more, Scent of Roses. I don't remember the order. I think these are a trilogy. I don't even know which one the first one is. I think Scent of Roses is the first one. But they follow Austin Summers, I don't know. They sounded really interesting. And if I find the first one, then I'll go over it. It's somewhere in this pile. The next one I got is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. This one says Quentin Coldwater's life has changed forever by apparently chance encounter when he turns up for his entrance interview to Princeton. He finds his interviewer dead, but a strange envelope bearing Quentin's name leads him down a very different path to any he had ever imagined. Sounded really good. It was a spine pick, so that's the next one. So that right there is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The seventh book I got is, I've also wanted like dive some into true crime because it's always fascinated me as well. The next one I got is Helter Skelter by Vincent Buology with Kurt Gentry. It's the true story of the Manson murders. The next one I got is Atomic Love by Jenny Fields. This one takes place in Chicago, 1950. Rosalind Porter has always defied expectations in her work as a physician on the Manhattan Project in her passionate love affair with colleague Thomas Weaver. 5 years after the end of both, her guilt over the bomb and her heartbreak over Weaver intervened. She desperately misses her work in the lab, yet has almost resigned herself to a more conventional life. And then it goes into how she ends up, the FBI special agent Charlie wants Rosalind to spy on Weaver. So that sounds like fabulous. I'm trying to figure out where my camera is. The next book we got is The Lot Pirate. I'm from Texas. I'm sorry. Is by Lily Brooks Dalton. This one is Florida slipping away, devastating waters, patterns and rising sea levels wreak gradual havoc on the state's infrastructure. A powerful hurricane approaches a small town on the southern eastern coast. Kirby Lowe, an electrical line engineer worker for the local utility, his pregnant wife Frida, and their two sons, Flip and Lucas, prepare for the worst. Up in the top, it says a story of survival and resilience spanning one woman's lifetime as she navigates the uncertainty, brutality, and arresting beauty of a rapidly changing world. I think I've seen this on BookTube. It sounded interesting, so we picked that up. The next one I have is actually one I got from my mom. It's The Winter's Child. It's a Margaret Cole book. It sounds interesting, so I might actually read this before I give it to my mom. The next one we have is Forgot What You Know by Christina Dodd. This one, a submerged car is pulled from the bottom of the lake. The driver has been shot in the back of the head and no bodies are found. Only a legendary sculpture remains inside, and as it rises to the surface, greedy collectors from around the world gather. They'll stop at nothing to gain possession of the priceless artifact. Only one person stands in their way. Zoe Phoenix remembers nothing about her early childhood. Mother's desire to leave those years behind never worried her until she's almost killed in a hit and run days later, and her mother disappears. Now Zoe fears her family's secrets won't stay buried long. She has no idea who tried to murder her or why, but she's determined to unravel the truths of her past before they claim her future. Sounds really good. The next one I got, I've seen Jennifer Weiner. I think that's the name. On several TBRs. I picked this one up. This is A Summer Place. It's about a wedding that Sarah goes to for her 22-year-old stepdaughter, and secrets are revealed and everything. I'm all for it. The next one I got is House of Correction by Nikki French. This one says, Tabitha is not a murderer. She knows she's not. She thinks she's not. But what if she's lying only to herself? It's about Tabitha, who is being placed in handcuffs when she only recently moved back. And it talks about how she's in a correctional facility and how she has to dig through her past to figure out what really happened. I'm intrigued. Like I said, this is going to be a very short video or try to make this as short as I can. I picked this one up on a whim. I read The Younger Wife, I believe it was, by her. It was a 2-star for me just because it dealt with domestic violence, and as somebody who's a survivor of that, it, and the way it was worded, kind of hit home to me. So I wanted to give her another try, so I picked up The Soulmate by her. I've seen it several times, and it sounded interesting. The next one I got is actually the third in a series. I actually have this book, In the Woods by Tanya French. I forget whose TBR I've seen this on, but it sounded really interesting. I don't know that I would necessarily read this before I have to return it, just because I'm trying to read A Court of Silver and Flames, but I do intend to try and get a copy of this or recheck it out from the library. The next one we have is Nora Roberts. I also picked up this really cute bookmark. It's by Nora Roberts, Three Fates. This one, I really hate when this happens, when you have the author on the back and like just a small blurb. But this one says, the search for a priceless treasure will take three siblings around the world and lead them to discover their heart's desires. I looked it up on Goodreads while I was there, and it sounded really interesting based on what Goodreads said. So we're going to give that a try. I've read quite a few about her. The next one we have is The Shadowland by Elizabeth Kostova. I think that's how you say that. This one is about a woman named Alexandra Boyd who travels to Bulgaria, hoping that life abroad will slave the wounds left by the loss of her beloved brother. She helps an elderly couple into a taxi and realizes too late that she accidentally kept one of their bags. Inside, she finds an ornately carved wooden box engraved with the name Stovan Lazarov. Raising the hidden lid, she discovers that she's holding an urn filled with human ashes, and she sets out to return the priceless item to the other couple. I'm intrigued. I'm kind of just sticking them over here on the shelf because I don't quite know how I'm going to do this. Then we have the Book of Speculation by Erica Weiler. This one I picked up. It was $3. It has deckled edges. Everybody hates deckled edges, but I absolutely love them. Sorry, not sorry. This one is about Simon Watson, a young librarian, lives alone in a house that is slowly crumbling toward the Long Island Sound. His parents are long dead. His mother is a circus mermaid who made her living by holding her breath, drowned in the very water his house overlooks. His younger sister, Enel, ran off to join the circus 6 years ago. And basically, on July 24th, mermaids died. It's about a circus. I love circus books. Circus has always fascinated me, so I had to get that one. And with that, we have emptied one bag. We still have 3 to go. We're going to go through this bag just because I see Scent of Roses by Kat Martin on it. This is the first one. Family counselor. Elizabeth doesn't believe in ghosts, but this time she has no choice. I don't need to know anymore. I'm a huge person about paranormal and ghost stories, so we have that one. The next one we have is American Murder Houses, a coast-to-coast terror of the most notorious houses of homicide. It's got short stories in it of Andrea Yates. That was one in Texas where she drowned her 5 children because postpartum depression. I follow that story. Then you also have the Candyman. You have the Amityville Horror, James Rupert. Let's see here. I think this one had JonBenet Ramsey, which somewhere in here I have another book that's all about the JonBenet Ramsey case. That case has always fascinated me. And I want to learn more about it. It also has the Lizzie Borden house and the Valeska Axe murder house. I've heard of Lizzie Borden house. I recently heard I think about a year and a half ago, about the Valeska Axe murder house from Sam and Colby. They're paranormal people on YouTube who go to haunted houses and investigate and stuff like that. And I actually read another book that was mentioned in their video about the Valeska Axe murder house, and it kind of intrigued me more. So there's that one. Then we have another one, Secret Sisters by Jane Ann Kurtnitz. I recently read last year the Vanished series. It was about a town that was exposed by radiation, and they all had like supernatural powers. So I want to try out more by her. This one says, they knew his name, the man who tried to brutally attack 12-year-old Helen in her grandmother's hotel. They thought they knew his fate. He wouldn't be bothering them more, even ever. Still, their lives would never be the same. And then he gets out, and they're trying to find the truth about it. Sounds really good. The next one we have is Lone Woman. Again, I've said this before in some of my book haul videos if you've been around. I like going to Half Price Books so that I can get some of the book of the months. I currently do not to subscribe to Book of the Month. I have been really looking into it, and I probably will at some point. But I got Lone Woman by Victor Lavalil. This one is a woman with a past, a mysterious trunk, a town on the edge of nowhere, embracing new vision of the American West from the award-winning author of The Challenging. I've never heard of this author. I'm all about what westerns, which I don't really think this one is a western per se, but it intrigued me when she has a mysterious trunk and is trying to figure out her past. Like I said, brief synopsis. The next one I'm not going to go over because we all know about it, The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. Last year, I read The Wishing Game. Absolutely loved it. I think I paid full price for this one, which is okay because it was on my TBR. And my library hold is like forever long. The next one I got is The Spell is Love by Kate Robb. Another book of the month. This one is about a girl who was dumped by her long-term boyfriend, took it really hard. Her sister and kooky aunt, her best friend Dax, make a love cleansing spell that promises to erase Gemma from exit from her memory. They all follow the instructions, including a platonic kiss from Dax to seal the deal. However, she wakes up and she realizes that not only did she never date her ex, but the rest of her life is completely unrecognizable. The worst part is Dax has no idea how she is, so to reverse the spell, she has to get Dax to love her. So it kind of reminds me of, I don't remember what I read it. The next book I got is The House of Lincoln by Nancy Horan. My sister read this one, I think last year, said it was really good. I'm all about Lincoln stuff. So I'm excited for that one. And then we also have The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. I read The First Mistake last year. I think it was last year, and really enjoyed it. This one says, he loved you, but she loves you not, and she'll stop at nothing the other woman. Basically, it's about a woman and I believe her husband or boyfriend. I don't know if they're married. I can't remember. It doesn't say. Oh, it's new girlfriend. But the mother doesn't like her and is trying to sabotage the relationship. So I'm intrigued. The next one I got was Pictures of You. Again, all these came from Half Price Books, 2 different stores. I don't remember which ones they were. The next one I got was Pictures of You by Emma Gray. Where's my camera? There it is. This one says, Eva Hudson should be grieving her dead husband, but since the car crash that claimed his life and landed her in the hospital, she can't remember him at all. The only person who can help her piece her past together is her high school best friend, Drew Kennedy. When snippets of her memory start falling into place, Eva wonders exactly how she ended up in a life that could be further from the one she dreamed of. This time around, she's seeing all the things she missed and the life she gets to choose again. Sounded really good. The next one we have is The Connollys of County Down by Tracy Lang. I've never heard of her, but when Tara Conley is released from prison after serving 18 months on a drug charge, she knows rebuilding her life at 30 years old won't be easy. With no money in prospects, she returns home to live with her siblings who are both busy and have their own problems. While she works to build a new career and hold her family together, Tara finds a chance at love and big secrets, family drama. I'm all for it. And we have another empty bag, y'all. The next one we got, I'm not going to go over. It's The Wilds by Sarah Pierce. This is the third in the Ellen Warner series trilogy. I read the first one this year. I think it was this year. Yeah, this year. Loved it. I have the second one somewhere on my shelf over here, so I picked up the third one. The next bag is right here. We have The Swimsuit by James Patterson and Maxine Petrillo. This one says, a breathtakingly beautiful supermodel disappears from the swimsuit photo shoot at the most glamorous hotel in Hawaii. Only hours later, Kim McDaniel's parents receive a terrifying phone call. Fearing the worst, they board the first flight to Maui and begin the hunt for their daughter. Ex-cop Ben Hawkins, now a reporter for the LA Times, gets the McDaniels assignment. ineptitude of the local police force defies belief. Ben has to start his own investigation for Kim to have a prayer and for Ben to have the story of his life. All while the killer sets the stage for his next production. His audience expects the best and they won't be disappointed. Sounded really good. The next one we got is The Lies We Leave Behind by Noel Salazar. I read The Flight Girls last year, and I have Angels of the Resistance on my shelf again somewhere. And this one has been on my radar, and my library never has it. It's Pacific 1943. Kate Campbell is a nurse who bravely flies back and forth from the front to rescue wounded soldiers amid long days, harsh conditions, and often dangerous weather. I don't need to know anymore. I love a good historical fiction. The next one we got has 4 books in one by Wanda Brunstetter, Jean Brunstetter, Michelle Brunstetter, and Lauren Brunstetter. It's The Sisters of by the Sea. It says journey with the best-selling Brunstetter authors to the unique tropical Amish community of Pinecraft in Sarasota, Florida, along with 4 young sisters originally from Indiana. I absolutely love Wanda Brunstetter's books. I have read so many of hers, and I actually think I've got like 1 or 2 more of these like multiples in one in this TBR or this book haul. The next one I got is Sisters of Fortune by Anna Lee Huber, a novel about the Titanic. Again, I don't need to know anything else. The Titanic has always fascinated me. It fascinates my oldest as well. I think 2 years ago, we went up to Pigeon Forge, and went to the Titanic Museum. We had a blast. The next one is Daughters of Lancaster. Time stands still in Pennsylvania, Amish County, where the Fisher family struggles to overcome devastating heartache for 3 young women who are pivotal to bringing faith, hope, love, and most importantly, forgiveness back into this Amish family's life. It's also by Rhonda Brunstetter. I have a bunch of Amish already on my shelf, so I really want to get back into reading Amish books. The next one we have is A Man from Beijing. This one was on the clearance rack. It says, in a far north, it's by Henning Mankell. It says, in the far north of Sweden, a small quiet village has been almost entirely wiped out by a mass murder. The only clue left at the scene is a red ribbon. Among the victims are the grandparents of Judge Brigitte Roseland, who sets out to find the killer. Despite being brushed off by the police, Brigitte is determined to prove that the murders were not a random act of violence, but are part of something far more dark and complex. Her investigation leads to the highest echelons of power and into the recesses of history where the seeds of evil deeds were planted. Sounded good, so we got that one. The next one we have here is the John Benet Ramsey murder investigation. This story, I can't remember when the story happened, but I have no words. Like, I don't know. My mom says she thinks the brother did it, but I don't know. So we have that one. Then we got The Last Russian Doll by Kirsten Loksch. This one, it's a beautiful cover. It says, a young girl lived happily in Moscow with her family and sister, a father, and an mother who liked to tell fairy tales and collect porcelain dolls. One summer night, everything changed, and all that remained of that family were the girl and her mother. Now, a decade later, studying the degree at Oxford, Rosie has an English name, a loving fiancé, and promising future, but all she wants is to understand and bury the past. After her mother dies, Rosie returns to Russia, armed with little more than her mother's strange folklore and a single key. I don't need to know anymore. The next one we have is The Next to Die by Sophia Hannah. A lot of these are new authors for me. A psychopath police says that Billy Dead Mates is targeting pairs of best friends, killing them one by one. Before they die, the victims all received a small white book, blank except for 2 lines of text, different messages chosen specifically for each victim. As days tick by, the detectives on the case are driven closer to the edge while the panic grows increasingly panic. Then a woman disappeared Then a woman disturbed by a police request on the news comes forward. What she reveals the investigators shocks the investigators and adds another layer to already complex case. Kim Trebek, a stand-up comedian, received one of those peculiar little books. A stranger gave it to her at one of her gigs last year. Was the stranger the psycho killer? Kim has no friends and trusts no one, so how and why could Billy dead mates care about her? But if she's not in the crosshairs, then why was she given one of those strange books, and who will be the next to die? Sounded really good. The next one we have is The Auschwitz Escape by Joel C. Rosenberg. Inspired by true stories of those who were captured and sent to death camps, and by the stories of the few who actually escaped in hopes of saving the lives of a million, Rosenberg gives a glimpse of the horrors that existed behind those prison walls and the unfathomable courage needed only to survive a death camp, not only to survive a death camp, but to break free and tell the world the truth. Then the last one, we have an empty bag. We got one more bag to go. The next one we have is Portrait of a Killer, the Jack Ripper, the case closed. Again, I don't need to go over this. We all know about Jack the Ripper. And the last and final bag, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mommy Deadliest by Michael Benson. This one is antifreeze for a husband, pills for a daughter, a killer for a mother. It sounded interesting because it says it looked like a suicide, a man's corpse on the bedroom floor next to a half-empty glass of antifreeze. The fingerprints on the glass belonged to the deceased wife, Stacy Castor, and a turkey baster in the garage had police wondering if she force-fed the toxic fluid down her husband's throat. Sorry, I don't want my kids to hear this. In desperation, Stacy concocted a devious plan. She mixed a deadly cocktail of vodka and pills, then served it to her 20-year-old daughter, Ashley. The authorities would find Ashley with a suicide note confessing to the antifreeze murder, but Stacy's plan backfires because Ashley refused to die. Charged with murdering her second husband and attempting to kill her oldest daughter, Stacy Castor sparked a media frenzy, but when police dug up her first husband's grave and found antifreeze in his body too, this New York housewife earned a nickname that would follow her all the way to prison. They called her the Black Widow, and with a good reason. It includes 16 shocking photos. So, we have that one. The next one we have is Deep Shadow by Randy Wayne White. Again, I've never heard of this author. It says, in a remote Florida lake, the rim of a cave collapses, trapping two of Ford's friends. Ford himself manages to escape and quickly surfaces to find help, and that's when the trouble really begins. Two men, killers and ex-cons, are waiting for him. They are intent on diving to the bottom of the very deep lake and uncovering the remains of a legendary plane wreck that's supposedly loaded with gold. Ford's expertise is just what they need, and if he doesn't want to help, he can die. His friends, they can die too. As two mortal struggles unfold simultaneously, one above and one below. Neither outcome is certain. No man is safe, and in a deep shadow, only death awaits. Sounded really good. The next one we have is Heart of the Dragon by Gina Showalter. Cover's really pretty. This one says, searching for her missing brother, Grace Carlisle never dreamed she would discover a secret would populated by mythological monsters. I apologize about that. My youngest came out. Mythological monsters, or find yourself facing a sword-wielding being whose looks put mortal men to shame. Sounded good. I figured I'd give it a try. I almost picked up the other two in the series, but I wanted to wait and give it a try. The next one I got is Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter by Seth Graham Smith. Another Lincoln book. So there's that one. Then we got Somebody I Used to Know by David Bell. This one says, when Nick Hansen sees the young woman at the grocery store, his heart stops. She is a spitting image of his college girlfriend, Marissa Minor, who died in campus house fire 25 years earlier. But when Nick tries to speak to her, she has skittish and runs off. And then she's murdered, found dead in the local motel with Nick's name and address on a piece of paper in her pocket. Sounded good. The next one we have is Girl Wash Your Face. Stop believing lies about who you are so you can become who you were meant to be. Sounded interesting. The next one is another Titanic book. This one is Unsinkable by Jeannie L. Walsh. So Violet Jessup is Miss Unsinkable. Daphne has survived calamity of her own. This follows two stories inspired by true stories of Violet Gisette and the 39 Women of the Special Operations Executive, 2 Unsinkable Women, 2 Stories of Survival, Family, and Finding One's Own Happiness, 1 Connection that Reshapes Both Their Lives Forever. Sounded really good. Again, this one I'm not going to go over because everybody's either read it or it's on multiple TBRs. Is A Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. The next one we got, I'm not going to go over either just because I've seen it on several TBRs. The Orphan's Tale by Pam Jenoff. Then we have this one that I picked this up because of the cover, and then the inside sounded really good. 16-year-old Nara Holloway's only goal in life is to get through it unnoticed. That and to spend her first summer in LA building a doomsday bunker in her backyard. Sounded good. Doomsday bunker, I'm all for it. And the last and final book, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second. Let me put all these book bags into one bag so that I have them for the next time, because I don't know if y'all does it, but my half price book no longer gives you plastic bags. You have to bring your own or carry them out. So I bought several from there. The last and final one, I've read one book by this author. That was 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. I tried to read a couple others by her, but I just couldn't get into them. This one sounded really good. It's called Here One Moment. And aside from a delay, there will be no problems. The flight will be smooth. It will land safely. Everyone who gets on the plane will get off, but most of them will forever be changed. I didn't need to know anything else. It says, because on this ordinary short domestic flight, something extraordinary happens. People will learn how and when they are going to die. For some, their deaths are far in the future, age 103, and they laugh. But for 6 passengers, their predicted deaths are not far at all. Kind of reminds me of The Measure by Nikki Elric. I just hope it's better than that one because I really did not care for that one. And then I got these a few weeks ago. I got What Happens When Women Say Yes to God and Walk in Faith, 2 beloved books, 1 keepsake edition. It's a Bible study that sounded interesting to me. It says, set you on a journey of learning how to be obedient to the Lord. You'll see beautiful transformation that accompanies following God's voice in your daily life and open your eyes to incredible ways you can experience. That's the one that says what happens when women say yes to God. Then the other one that's in this book, it says what happens when women walk in faith. Shows you how to pursue God's call, even though times of doubt, discouragement, and pain. You'll learn how to remain encouraged and equipped through embracing God's promises, no matter what comes your way. And it's got some Bible studies in here. I think you can even write in the book. I will probably write in this one. I'm not 100% sure. I might. We have that one. And then the last thing we got is The Women of the Bible Speak, the wisdom of 16 women and their lessons for today, life lessons for today. It follows, here's what it looks like. It follows, let's see, it's got the story of Sarah and Hagar, Rachel and Leah, Tamar and Ruth, Deborah and Jill, Hannah and Miriam, Esther and Rahab, Mary and Martha of Bethany, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, and then Jesus and the women. It sounded good. I've seen it several times. I also got the workbook, so there's that. I don't quite know when I'm going to start those. I'm hoping maybe my mother-in-law will start them with me. So I am surprised this video is under 40 minutes. So that is everything I have acquired recently. There's been a few other books here and there, but they're all like scattered because I'm going to be in the process of rearranging. I don't want to take y'all on that journey because it'd be a lot of moving parts. So what I will do is I'm going to end this video here, rearrange everything, and then I will hopefully be back within an hour or so, and we will post a TBR video or do my TBR game. So if you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. If you have read any of these books or if any of these are on your radar, let me know down the link below. I'm always up for a buddy read. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.